Hello and welcome to Kivy School. This video will be about using Windows and WSL2 to create a Kivy app targeting the Android platform. This video assumes that you have already followed the Windows WSL2 setup targeting Android, shown here. Now I will show you what Kivy Reloader is, how to install it on your WSL2 side after setup, and how to use it. And in the How to Use section, you will see 3 setups: Beginner, Intermediate, and Advanced. I will also show you how to connect your phone to WSL2 and how to use screen copy. So let's get started. As you can see, this page shows Kivy Reloader working on 2 devices, Android and desktop. You can already see an immediate change when developing. This is a huge deal because before, you would have to rebuild and recompile with BuildDozer, or on desktop, you would have to stop your Python main.py, press up arrow if your terminal has history, and then press enter again to reset your Kivy app. With Kivy Reloader, you can already see changes immediately on Android and desktop. This will save you from repetitive strain injuries on your hands, development time wasted on waiting for BuildDozer to compile, and make you a better programmer. As you can see right here, how it works. Kivy Reloader is using Khaki under the hood, which uses Watchdog to watch for file changes. You configure KivyReloader.toml to set the folders and files you want to watch for changes. When a change is detected on any of these files or folders, Kivy Reloader updates and reloads your app on all the devices you have configured, and they need to be on the same network. So now we will go, because this is the Windows WSL2 setup, we've already installed everything required. So now let's actually install Kivy Reloader and let's use it. Let's go right here to the installation. Now, in our prerequisites, if you've already followed the Windows WSL2 setup, you don't need this. You've already had screen copy installed on both your host Windows and your WSL side. Now let's start the Poetry Wizard. The one thing we have to do is actually get on WSL. I'm going to type Windows key, WSL, enter. Now, as you can see, we're going to this tilde folder, right? This tilde sign right here, we're actually going to the home folder. So for me, I like putting my projects in coding. Let's go CD coding, and because this is a new project, I'm going to do mkdir for make directory, and it's going to be hello world, and then I will cd to hello world. And then this is why we are advising you to use VS Code, because now you can say code dot, and what this does and why it's very good is that it opens VS Code on your Windows side from WSL, and you can still interact with your WSL code through your Windows side using VS Code. So that's very cool and very neat. Another thing too is you get this terminal right here. So actually, now that I've opened VS Code, I can just close this WSL terminal, and then let's continue here. And it says we'll start the Poetry Wizard. So now we will type poetry init. So poetry init. This command will guide you through creating your pipeproject.toml config. So package name, hello world, version 1, okay. Author. So this one, it requires an author. I'll just put one in. It's me. No license needed. Python's okay. And then here, just say yes, just to get through the installer. Because if you make a mistake in this installer, it's really hard to go back. And then you'll have to restart doing poetry in it. So just say yes, yes, yes. Now we have a pipe project toml. Okay, the next step is to activate the virtual environment. So what we're going to do is we're going to do poetry shell. And as you can see, our 2 commands that we have told you to install in Poetry have come into play. First, the virtual environment is installed in our project. The second is every time we do some sort of poetry command, it will always automatically create the virtual environment if it has not already been created. So now we have a virtual environment, and then we'll install the dependency. So here we'll just say poetry add Kivy Reloader. So poetry add Kivy Reloader, and then Kivy Reloader will install, and then I'll see you in the next section. So now here I'm in the how to use section of Kivy Reloader on Kivy School. In this guide, you will learn how to set up and use Kivy Reloader for your projects. So this is just a warning. If you're on Windows, you need WSL2 to compile for Android. And again, the instructions are here on how to set up Windows WSL for Android. If you want to use Kivy to target Windows only, you can still follow this Kivy Reloader tutorial. You can choose to set up WSL2 targeting Android later. So here's the project structure for beginners, intermediates, and advanced. And afterwards, I'm going to show you in this section how to connect your Android phone to WSL. So let's start. Now with the beginner example, we will give you just one main.py file with a simple Hello World Kivy app. So in here, in our Ubuntu side, the WSL Ubuntu side, I'm going to make one file called main.py. And then I'm going to copy this and I'm going to paste. Right? But it's not going to work because you haven't set up Kivy Reloader. So if you go like this, Python main.py, you're going a bit too fast. It's going to say, please execute Kivy Reloader init first. So we'll go here in the project folder, type in the terminal Kivy Reloader init. So Kivy Reloader init. And as you can see, two files have been created: the Kivy Reloader toml and the buildozer spec. The buildozer spec is used by buildozer, and the Kivy Reloader toml is used by Kivy Reloader. Now let's configure it. These are just the 4 things that you should know. Every line has an explanation. So right here, under phone IPs, put the IP of your phone here. You can find the IP of your Android phone on settings, about phone, status, IP address. Hot reload on phone. Set it to true if you're going to hot reload on your phone when you press Ctrl S. Then full reload files. This is a list of file names which are relative paths that will trigger a live reload when they change. So a live reload is just when your Kivy app restarts from the beginning, when you end Python and then restart Python main.py. In this beginner example, we are watching only the main.py file, and when we change it, the app will restart. Watch folders recursively. This is a list of folder names. In this beginner example, it is empty list. This is because we're not watching any folder, we're only watching main.py. Check the advanced example to see on how to watch folders. So again, here it's just minimal Kivy Reloader.toml. You don't need to worry about it. So Kivy Reloader init also creates a file called buildozer spec for buildozer, and then pay attention to the file names. Okay, that's fine. Now we'll run the app. Now we can do Python main.py. The app is running. So as you can see, we're doing hello world. So because we're watching main.py from the Kivy Reloader toml, now we can go here and I can start modifying it. So hello world test change exclamation. And as you can see here, I'm going to move it over, press Ctrl S. It will live reload. So a live reload is when, let me find it. Live reload is when you press Ctrl S and then the app closes and then restart. As you can see, we have seen our test change, and then on release, let's just print something, right? Let's print new change. So as proof, I'm going to press this button. I'm not seeing anything printed. Now I'm going to save, and then I'm going to find it. Okay, it's already here. Now I'm going to press test change. Now I see a new change. So again, very easy, and it saves a lot of time. You don't have to keep ending your process manually and then restarting. Okay? And then next step, we're going to go to the intermediate example. I cannot show the hot reload here simply because we're only watching one file, and for one file, you have to reload from main.py. So in the intermediate example, we're going to do this setup, which is to create a file called main.py and a file called app.py and a folder called screens. So this is going to be the setup, and then in main.py, I will just copy this. Copy and then replace, save. I need an app.py. On VS Code, here is the new file, app.py. Control V to print, Control S to save. Then I still need my screens folder right here, screens. And then I need a new file called mainscreen.kv, mainscreen.kv. So here, copy, paste, save, the new file, main screen.py. So copy, paste, and save. Then now we'll set up Kivy Reloader toml again. So here's some changes. So we go down here. So here, full reload files. This is a list of file names, which are relative paths that will trigger a live reload when they change. In this intermediate example, we want to restart the app when main.py or app.py changes. So in this example, we need to set this, main.py, app.py. Now I'll show you first. Let's go like this. In main, because main is being observed, I'll press Control S. It will restart. Right? But if I go to app.py, press Control S, it will not restart. If I go to main screen.py, press Control S, it won't restart. This is because Kivy Reloader TOML doesn't know how to look for it. It doesn't know to reload when you make a change. So here we have to add app.py. Now when we run it, so let's go to main. So main, Control S, it will reload. Reload it right here. And then if you go to app, right here, Control S, it will also reload. Let's go like this, I found it. And then now, but what if we go to main screen? Because we haven't added the screens folder, it will not do anything, right? So the next portion is going to be watched folders recursively. This is a list of folder names that will cause a hot reload. So a hot reload is just when it reloads the KV and it doesn't have to shut down the Python process and restart. So here in this example, it's screens. Screens is what we want for a hot reload. This means that a change in any file inside the screens folder will trigger a hot reload. So we go right here, Kivy Reloader TOML, and we go to exit this, watch folders recursively, screens. And then remember to save, because very easy to just make a change and then not saving it. Remember to save. I go up, I press python main.py. Now it's going to work. If I go to main, press Control S, going to live reload. Let me just find the live reloaded. Now let's go to app.py, Control S. Now it's live reloaded. And then now let's go to main screen.py, actually main screen.kv. Now I will show you the hot reload. So this will hot reload. What this does is it will just update the KV but not shut down the app and restart it. So if I press Control S, welcome to Kivy Reloader, this will hot reload. And then again, I can even do on release. Let's print something else. Let's print hot reloaded information. Press Control S. Now I'm gonna print like here. And again, you can see I have hot reloaded information. Whereas before, when I pressed the button, it didn't print anything. It didn't print anything, so I can't find it. Then we'll press Control X just to cut one line. Control save. Control S to save. And then now again, I've changed it. Now it will not say anything about hot reloaded information because the line is gone. So very simple to use as long as you set it up correctly, and very powerful too because it saves you a lot of dev time. And it also prevents carpal tunnel in your hands. Now let's go to the advanced setup. In the advanced setup, up here, we're going to be looking in the advanced example. We'll create a main.py, a beautiful app folder, and then a screens folder with these two files. So we'll go main.py, like this. So first, actually, let me go right-click and reveal in File Explorer. I'm going to remove the old setup, which is the app.py and the screens.py. And then I'll also undo the changes in Kivy Reloader TOML. So here, we don't need app.py. We don't need screens.py. Save. We don't need app. And we don't need screens. Deleted. Okay, now we've reset. Now let's go to main.py right here. Copy. And then Control A to select all. Control V to paste. Save. Now I'm going to make a new folder called Beautiful App. Beautiful App. Then I'll make a new file. It's called init. In init.py, I will copy this, paste, and save. And then I'm going to make a new folder called screens. Oh, the screens folder should be in the beautiful app folder. Screens, like this. Within the screens, I'm going to make a new file. It's going to be main screen.kv. So copy, paste, and I'll save. And I'll make a new folder called main screen.py. In the screens folder, this main screen.py. And in main screen.py, you can just copy, you can just paste. Remember to save everything. And then now, again, as before, because I have not modified the pyproject or kivyproject.toml. I press enter. It will only update on main.py. Why? Because it's written here. So if I control S, it will update. But if I go to init.py, it doesn't change. You go to main screen, it doesn't change. You need to make sure to add the correct files and folders to kivyreloader.toml. That way things get reloaded correctly. So again, the one change is going to be here on the full reload and the watch folders recursively. So in this advanced example, we want to restart the app when main.py or beautiful app init.py changes. So in this example, set full reload files to this main.py and beautiful app init.py. It's just master quotes. It doesn't really matter, it's just strings, but I like matching my string quotes. Then watch folders recursively. In this example, it is beautiful app. Why? Because we're going to watch the beautiful app folder. So let's run first with beautiful app init. Again, we have main. Let's go to main.py, save. It will reload. Let me just fetch it from the taskbar right here. It will reload. But now let's go to init.py. Control S. Now it's also reloading. But the one problem is because I didn't add the whole beautiful app folder. Let's go here. See, beautiful app folder is not being watched. If I press Control S, it's not updating. But if I go to the toml right here and say beautiful app, Control S, then Control C to end Python, restart, you know, the manual way. Go like this. Kivy Reloader. It will reset if I save main.py. It will reset if I save init.py. And then if I go to main screen.py, now we'll start doing the hot reload. As you can see here, there's no change because I didn't change anything visible. Let's try this. I will hot reload. Then I'll show right here. Control S to save. I will hot reload. And again, I'm pressing the button. Nothing is being printed. Enter on release. Print. I am a changed widget. And then Control S to save. I'm a changed widget, as you can see here. But then if we remove it, and let's say let's not save, right? We will still say I'm a changed widget. You have to remember Control S to save. Now suddenly the widget has changed back. It is not printing anything anymore. So this is the final Kivy Reloader example. We've already gone through the 3 setups, which is the basic example, intermediate, and advanced. If you're going to build like a full stack app, I recommend for you to use advanced, simply because right here in your beautiful app, you're going to need some more folders. You'll need like a utils folder. You'll need like a database folder. You'll need, and in your screens, right, you'll need more screens. But in any case, that's just a quick detour toward like the future. Now let's go to the next step. The next step is going to be to run your app. And you're going to run your app with Windows WSL targeting Android. So Buildozer cannot run on Windows. You need to install WSL2 and follow the guide for Windows WSL2 setup targeting Android. So just a reminder, make sure you run Kivy WSL2 xlaunch. So as you can see here, I'm already running my xlaunch. That's why, as you can see, like with Python main.py, my windows look like native windows. I'm not using WSLG where there's like a white border around it. I really like that it looks native simply because it looks like a Windows window. So I'm already running WSL xlaunch, and I've already enabled developer options and USB debugging on my phone. Now I need to make sure the ADB in Windows is the same as ADB in WSL. So how are we going to check? We'll go press start key, CMD. Let's check ADB version. So my version is 1041. This is WSL, ADB version 1041. So they match. If they don't match, you would have to downgrade or upgrade to whichever one, just so that your ADBs on Windows and WSL match. But because they match, we can keep going. Next, I'll find my phone's IP address. So this is just another reminder. You go to settings, connections, Wi-Fi. Let me think. I think here my screen copy will work. So let me get my phone and then I will connect and I'll show you. Okay, so I'm connecting my Android phone to my computer with a USB cable. I'm gonna allow USB debugging. And then from Windows side, just to show you, SCR-CPY, I'm gonna use screen copy. It's gonna work. I'm here. Let's go to settings. Oh, because it's tilted. That's fine. Okay, so we're going to find the IP. It's just going to be connections. Right here, we're going to go to my phone connection. And then as you can see right here, I'll find my IP. So currently, it's 192.168.138. Sometimes if you like leave your Wi-Fi zone and then come back, you're going to be assigned a different IP. The third step is to bridge WSL to your phone. You will have two options, or three options if your Android is greater than 11. So there are three ways to do it, and I will go through each and every one of them. The first one is going to be to connect WSL to your phone through TCP/IP directly. So the pro is it's very easy with low setup. You just need to have ADB on Windows and on WSL. The con is it could be laggy depending on your Wi-Fi setup. So the big idea is that your WSL ADB is on the same Wi-Fi network as your Android phone, and that's how they communicate with each other. So the first step is to make sure your phone and host Windows are connected to the same Wi-Fi network. So as you can see here, I'm connected to Shooting Quasar Dragon, and here on my Wi-Fi, I'm also connected to Shooting Quasar Dragon 2G, so they're the same. Next, on host Windows and WSL, make sure ADB is turned off by typing ADB kill server. So I'm going to turn off the screen copy. I'll go here. I'll do ADB kill server. And then here, I will do ADB kill server. So this is my WSL. This is my Windows. Next, connect your phone to the computer with the USB cable. It's already connected, and I've already accepted the connection. On Windows, turn on ADB with this command to start a TCP/IP connection on the 5555 port. So you can choose any port number. This one is just easy to remember, available one. ADB TCP/IP 5555. Then accept on your phone. Now let's check if your device is attached. You're going to say ADB devices. And as you can see, my phone is attached. Now you're going to disconnect your phone from Windows or your host Windows. Next, you will say, okay, go to WSL side. On WSL's ADB to your phone IP with the same port, 5555. So it's going to be 192.168.1.61. And then remember to accept. Then check your connection with screen copies, SCR-CPY. There we go. And as you can see, through my Wi-Fi, it takes a little bit for a screen copy to initialize, but there you go. And then another thing to notice is that I had to step out a little bit when I was recording, and so I stepped out of the Wi-Fi range, right? And then what happened was my IP address got reassigned to 61. That's just one thing to remember. Make sure to update your IP address. Make sure that you're connected to the same Wi-Fi network. And now we will do Kivy Reloader run. And then just very quickly, we'll do debug in live stream. And for this, you have to accept kind of fast. As you can see here, I took a little bit. Let me try again. Debug in live stream. Then allow. Like you have to accept almost within the second. But you have two options for that. So number one is there's an option that says don't ask any more about requests from this device. So you can just say yeah to permanently give permission to your WSL for connection with screen copy, or you can just go open a new terminal and type screen copy. And then it will open just a new window. Because Kivy Reloader will just run on your phone, you can just make a new terminal using this plus command. Just add a new terminal, bash or tmux, I don't think it matters, and just type screen copy, and then you can do all of the Kivy Reloader stuff from there. So the next step is to connect Windows ADB to WSL ADB through a USB cable. So the pro is there's no lag as you're connected through USB. And the con is that there's more setup. So you should be doing this in case your Wi-Fi is kind of laggy or spotty. So let's keep going. How do I connect WSL ADB to my phone through Wi-Fi? So the big idea is that this is your Android phone connected to your host Windows ADB, and from our WSL ADB, we will just ping our host Windows ADB. So it will be like a bridge, and then that way you can use the USB cable. Let's start from the beginning. On host Windows and WSL, make sure ADB is turned off by typing ADB kill server. Okay, so I'm going to go here, ADB kill server. Okay, all this means is there was no previous server. And then here I'll Control C. I'll end all my screen copies. Let's actually remove this. And then I will do ADB kill server. Okay, servers are all gone. Next, get your host machine IP with IP config. So I'm gonna copy this, right click, okay, type it, config. Here, and as you can see here, there's a lot of different Wi-Fi's. You just need to find the one that you're connected to for the internet. And as you can see here, there's a lot. I know it's going to be router login. So let's get this IPv4, which is this, 59. Then again, this is an example. So now I got my host Windows IP, 192.168.1.59. And then we need to make sure that WSL can ping your host Windows IP. So from WSL, we will ping. Again, it's pinging and it's working. I can ping my own host Windows from the WSL side. So we'll do Control C to stop pinging. If you cannot ping your host machine through WSL, allow WSL through your wf.msc. So now we're going to connect our phone to Windows. Let me get the USB cable, connect. Okay, and then I'll accept the connection on my phone. So now on Windows, we will start an ADB node daemon server on port 5037. It can be any port number. I'll copy the clipboard, right click. I've started it, and remember to accept the connection. And then on WSL, make sure you can connect to the Windows daemon through that port. So copy, paste, and then I need to change. Oh, okay, it's the correct. So this is the correct port because I said 5037, and this is the host of my host Windows, which is 1.59. Press enter, and as you can see, my device is attached. And then even here, I'll make a new CMD. I'll type ADB devices. Then as you can see, it's attached. It's like 7 ECE. Here it's 7 ECE. The next, export these variables with the correct numbers. So we're going to export the ADB server port, the socket, and then the port and the address. And then you need the correct number. So 5037 is the same. 1.59 is the same. That's good. So I'll export them all. The next, we'll test our connection with screen copies. SCR-CPY and connect. And as you can see, there was no lag. It took less than 1 second in order to stream my Android screen to my WSL and then back again to render it in my host window using VCXer. So it's a little bit of networking, but we did the networking part. Now we're going to do the actual hard part, which is going to be creating our own real apps, our own real Python apps for Windows, for Linux, because we're using Ubuntu, and as well as for Android. So next, we'll test screen copy, Kivy Reloader run. So we'll do Kivy Reloader run. And as you can see, there's one trick, it's already going to fail. Why? Because I didn't change the Kivy Reloader toml. Okay, and just very quickly, because I'd run with an improperly configured toml, I was trying to connect to Wi-Fi, which ended up me connecting to my phone 2 different ways with USB and through Wi-Fi, which is not good. And then it bugged out, and there were like several different connections. So I had to terminate the connection on my PC and then terminate the connection through WSL, and then just restarted the server. As you can see here, I restarted the server, and then now I'll redo Kivy Reloader run. So the problem was I was connected through Wi-Fi earlier, I killed it, and then when I was doing the test with the improper toml, I said Wi-Fi here, right? But my connection was connected through USB. And then so because I was already connected through USB, and then I tried to connect to Wi-Fi, and because I was on the same Wi-Fi connection, there were like 2 connections and then ADB bugged out. So I killed the server again, and then now I'm started a server on my host Windows, and then now I've set the connection to be USB. So this will be correct, and then you don't need the IPs because you're through USB and you're just using your ADB server. As you can see, ADB devices, it's like this. It doesn't really need an IP, so you can just do USB, and then the port is 5037. Why? Because I said 5037 right here. So now we'll start with Kivy Reloader run, then debug and live stream. And as you can see, now I instantly connect. It doesn't have to take a while. It doesn't take 5 seconds. Through USB, I instantly connected to my Android phone with Kivy Reloader. And as you can see here, the title of the screen copy window is even Kivy Reloader. So now what have we done? We've set up a WSL for developing on Android. Now we have 3 setups that you can choose for your projects, which is a simple, intermediate, and advanced. And we've also connected our apps to our Android phone, and we're able to mirror our phone screen with screen copy. The next step, we're going to start to build screens. We're going to actually work with Hello World, and then we will start to develop some real world apps. So this has been Kivy School. Thank you for watching.